Hi there, and welcome back to another episode of Dermastaria. I want to give it a try to make an ecosystem that is at least partially self-sustaining. One of the most important additions to achieve this goal is springtails. These little tetraphores will eat mold, insect fresh, that's how the poop is called, and sometimes dead invertebrates. They contribute to the decomposition by fragmenting the organic matter. So with their help, the beetle poop and beetles one have died will eventually serve as nutrients for the live plants. I tried to find species of springtail that can live in semi-arid environments, but I couldn't find any for sale. I might try to breed springtails that I find outside that are more resilient to drought, such as these beautiful banded springtails. But for now, the tropical white springtails and tropical pink springtails from the pet trade will have to do. I added some leaf litter for the springtails, and in the meantime I saw the first beetle eggs being laid. Look closely, that's an undulatus egg. Undulatus was also laying eggs on the driftwood, and maculatus was laying eggs on the foxglove. And while I was looking at this undulatus beetle on top of the rib, I noticed something else. A small larva. The first eggs have hatched. After a closer inspection, I saw multiple small larvae on top of the driftwood. Beetle babies! Yes! I was so happy to see them. And the beetles didn't hold back. I began to see more and more larvae, while some are noticeably starting to get bigger. I think most of them are from maculatus. The larvae of undulatus are more black in color. The cocos fiber seems to be the preferred spot. Most of the time, all beetles seem to hide in between the fibers. I'm happy that they enjoy it so much. On another occasion, I noticed 2 maculatus and 1 undulatus beetles chilling on the driftwood. Undulatus walked away, but shortly after returned. What I didn't expect was that the male undulatus was going to mount the female maculatus. What? He's trying to find the right position to copulate, and after some turning, it looks like he had success. It's exactly strange behavior like this why I wanted to observe and study these beetles in a more natural setting. And the situation became even more interesting after the mating. Out of the blue, undulatus started to headbutt the maculatus female. Is this aggressive behavior? Part of the mating behavior? I really don't know. I have noticed some threads around the succulents for a little while. It didn't look like mold. Could it be? Spiderweb? I haven't noticed any spiders. Until one moment. A spider! In Dutch, this species is called zwart gatje, or roughly translated, little black hole. It is a species of sheet web spider, not native, but it has been introduced to Europe. It probably moved into the Dermasterium together with the succulent, where its web tunnel is located in the soil. It's astonishing how I introduced a wall spider unknowingly like this. A few springtails are carved in the webbing. Perhaps it might catch a few small larvae too. But you know, that's nature too. For now the spider may live here and claim the ecological niche as predator. Sorry little guy, destined to become prey. Oh wait, it just made its way out of the webbing. Okay, take care. Also, did you see this hole inside the bone? That must have been a big larva that bore right through it, maybe in search for a nice spot to pupate. I was wondering about the larvae of the other two species. I haven't seen Lardaria since the day of the introduction, and Murinus were feeding for a little while, but have disappeared as well. But it didn't take much longer. After a few days, I finally saw an adult Murinus beetle. It stayed close to the dinner plate for shelter. It probably hid underneath until the beetle fully hardened after pupating. A beetle that recently emerged from the pupa is very light in color and very squishy. And just one day later, I also saw an adult Lardarius beetle, also on the dinner plate. The larvae seem to prefer to bore themselves into the corkwood instead of the driftwood. It's softer material and closer to the food, so I guess it's the more logical choice. I suspect that most larvae pupate somewhere where I can't see them. But with this big number of larvae, there were pupae that weren't as hidden. Some pupae were inside the soil, and some pupae were simply on top of the soil. Hey, the first visible pupa hatched! You can see a reddish maculatus beetle that still has to harden its exoskeleton. I was right that most larvae were of maculatus. Since they pupated, they took over the wall enclosure. Other species can still be found wandering around, but everywhere you look, a maculatus beetle can be found. I guess it's time for me to do some culling to bring their numbers down.